in time, and that's worth 1,000 words.
Following up a 15 million selling album is never easy. It's hard to write about the streets when you can actually buy a few streets. But 1995's Insomniac was a good record too.
I think we wanted to put a record out really fast, and we're, wanted to keep in that tradition of putting out records in a fairly short amount of time, and we're pretty pissed off at that point. There's a lot that happened to us and everything. It was really a reaction, to everything that catalyzed.
I just try to dig deeper into what my own frustration and my own complications. I kind of consider that sort of like our almost like our heavy metal years or something. Yeah, it's we just it's like that's where we were at that certain point. It was just like I think things seemed to be a bit more bleak than they actually were. Looking back on it, I think I wish I would have enjoyed myself a little bit more. Like I said, I have no regrets, and Insomniac is a good record. It's like we count with songs like Geek Stink Breath and Brain Stew, and which just kind of ended up, being part of our own evolution.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in.
Around the studio, we are all the way from the studio. Mike wrote a 30-second song, and it had this sort of bombastic vaudeville kind of thing. It was just really, and it was really funny and fun. And I was like, oh my God, it almost sounds like a part of a rock opera or something like that. And so then I wrote a 30-second piece after that. Then Trey wrote a 30-second piece, and we kept connecting it, because of technology, you're able to do things like that nowadays. So we just kind of kept going. And that song, this arc just started to happen where it was it turned into, and actually is the song Homecoming. That's the last 10-minute thing. And, we were just laughing, and we were having a great time, and, it was like, this is what we should be doing, this is what's making us feel good. It's not like, I think at that point, too, we were just like, if we have to go out and write a batch of songs and try to pick a single and go through the rules of being in a rock band, it's like, I look at bands more like Outkast and Eminem as being more of an influence nowadays because it's just there's so much ambition that's going on in the music, and that's where I think rock and roll needs to sort of turn the corner and come back to. I'm not worried about how anybody's going to react. So far the reaction's been great. It's like the people that have heard it are have been really, really like the record, and I don't know, I feel really confident that people are gonna as soon as they hear it, they're gonna be like, wow, this this is Green Day, and it's maximum Green Day.
American Idiot is also going to surprise people in terms of its content. Punk was always supposed to be political, and for Green Day, living in post-September the 11th America was always going to inspire some songs.
And a song like American Idiot is sort of based on, that's me being confused about what it's like to be an American and what patriotism is, because it's like, the American patriotism is much different than let's say Ireland, just because America's got this stigma that it walks around with it saying, we're number one, we're the greatest country in the world, and it's just, there's no such thing as the greatest country in the world, and that's where you get and it's like, but you get these sort of rednecks that are, or like or you have this representative of your country, your president, that goes around acting like a bad tourist, and even worse than that, it's like, it's, and the war and everything on top of that, and that, for me, that doesn't represent who I am, or what it's like, I'm just, I'm a guy in a band, I'm an artist, and, it's like, I don't want to be represented by some redneck from Texas. People in the media, they're supposed to be the checks and balances of every country. It's like rock and roll is supposed to be about, rebellion and being dangerous. I'm a firm believer in the Church of Rock and Roll, and that's what, and that's what the rules are. That's what it is. It's the lack of them. So, that's where, that's what we want to challenge people, and it's like if people get a bit resentful or they're, pissed off, and
then we're doing our job.
Don't wanna be